What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to tell you a different kind of story. This is the story of Hollywood's toughest, quietest, and most determined man. The story of a man who stood in front of cameras for decades, made decisions behind them, and at 90-something years old, he's still working. This man is Clint Eastwood. But today I'm not going to talk about his movies. I'm going to talk about the mindset behind those movies, because Clint Eastwood isn't just an actor. He's a director, a producer, a composer, a former mayor, and most importantly, the architect of his own destiny. So how did this man stay at the top for so long? How did Hollywood try to erase him time and time again, and yet he came back stronger every single time? How did he get sharper as he got older? That's what we're going to find out together today. Clint Eastwood's 10 rules for success. Let's get into it. Rule 1. Falling is yours. Getting back up is your choice. Resilience. The Korean War is heating up. A young soldier feels the engines of his military aircraft failing, and one by one, the pilot is losing control. And over those cold Pacific waters, the plane is about to go down. That young soldier was Clint Eastwood. The plane hit the water. Clint survived. But the story didn't end there. In fact, that moment was permanently burned into Clint Eastwood's mind. Life can knock you down, but getting back up, that is always your choice. Think about that for a second. How many times has life knocked you down? How many times has a door been slammed in your face? How many times has someone looked you in the eye and said, "You can't do this"? If you look at the early years of Clint Eastwood's life, you don't see a success story. You see a rejection story. Universal Pictures told him straight up, "You're too tall. Your teeth are too big. You talk too slow. You will never be a star." But Clint got back up, and decades later, that same studio came knocking on his door. Resilience is not about never falling. Resilience is about choosing to keep going after you fall. Rule 2. Silence is the most powerful statement you can make. Let your work speak. Have you ever really watched Clint Eastwood? Have you truly watched him? Think about those scenes. Think about that voice. How many words? One line. And that one line hits harder than 1,000 pages ever could. Clint taught us this. Real power is not in the shouting. Real power is in knowing when to be silent. And this doesn't just apply to acting, this applies to life. How many people have you seen where the loudest person in every meeting gets the least done? How many times have you noticed that the quietest person in the room is actually the most powerful one there? Clint Eastwood said it in an interview. "I already say what I want to say on screen. Once the cameras stop rolling, I don't have much left to add. Do your work. Do it well. Stay quiet. Let the results do the talking." Because the world doesn't remember who shouted the loudest, it remembers who produced the most. Rule 3. Take the wheel, take ownership. In 1971, Clint Eastwood founded Malpaso Productions, his own production company. Why? Because he had realized something. As long as someone else is calling the shots, you are nothing but a tool. Clint refused to let Hollywood tell him, "Play this role, say these lines, wear this outfit." He chose his own films. He made his own decisions, and he owned the consequences of every single one of those decisions. Now, this is a critical distinction. Taking ownership means not blaming others when things go sideways. Taking ownership means being able to say, "This was my call, and I will face whatever comes with it." Clint made films that flopped. Critics tore them apart. But he never once said, "The studio made me do it." He owned his decisions. And that sense of ownership is what set him free. Because when you take control, the success is yours. So is the failure. And both of them together, they make you grow. Rule 4. Less talk, more work. Let your actions speak, not your words. Clint Eastwood once told a reporter, "I don't talk about my plans, I execute them." Read that again. I don't talk about my plans. I execute them. I look at social media today, and what do I see? People sharing their dreams, their plans, everything they're about to do. Starting the gym this month, launching a business next year, perhaps one day I'm going to write a book. And that day never comes. Because research actually shows that when you tell people about a plan, your brain starts to feel like it's already been accomplished. And just like that, your motivation drops. Clint Eastwood made over 70 films. Think about that. Over 70. How many of those did he announce on Twitter? How many did he post on Instagram with a coming soon teaser? None. He just worked. His secret wasn't having the brightest idea in the room. His secret was showing up and working with relentless consistency. Rule 5, age is never an excuse, age is just a number. In 2024, Clint Eastwood finished directing Juror Number 2 at 94 years old. Let's pause right here. 94 years old, sitting in the director's chair on a film set, making decisions with the crew, being there early in the morning, leading with vision. 94 years old. Clint Eastwood said it himself. "If you stop, you get old. I never wanted to stop." That line hits me differently every single time. How many times have you thought it's too late for me? How many times have you asked yourself, can someone my age really do this? How many times have you sacrificed a dream on the altar of a calendar? Vera Wang became a designer at 40. Samuel L. Jackson truly broke through at 43. Toni Morrison published her first novel at 39. And Clint Eastwood stepped behind the camera at 94. Age is an obstacle, but only if you're the one giving it that power. Rule 6, don't repeat yourself, reinvent yourself. Reinvent yourself. Try to define Clint Eastwood in one sentence, you'll struggle. Because every decade he became a different version of himself. 1960s, the hard, silent, mysterious cowboy. 1970s, Dirty Harry, the street warrior of the city. 1980s, both in front of and behind the camera. 1990s, Unforgiven and Oscar, and the world said, wait, this man isn't just action, he can play deep, complex characters. 2000s, Million Dollar Baby, another Oscar, and the world said, stop writing him off, he's still the best. Every decade, Clint reinvented himself. Why does this matter so much? Because the world changes, industries change, audiences change. And if you refuse to change with them, the world will leave you behind. But here's the fine line. While Clint changed, he never lost his core. Always the same determination, always the same discipline, always that same attitude of either you do it or you don't. There's no in between. Changing is not giving up on yourself. Changing is reaching a better version of yourself. Rule 7, make friends with fear. Embrace fear. You're on a plane that's about to crash into the ocean. What do you feel? Clint Eastwood described that moment like this. I was scared, but the fear didn't paralyze me, it focused me. Fear is not the sign of weakness. Fear is the sign that something matters to you. Ask the greatest athletes in the world. Were you ever scared before a big game? Every single one of them will say yes, but that fear doesn't freeze them. That fear sharpens them. Throughout his career, Clint took risks. He made films that everyone said would bomb. He kept working long past the point where everyone said he should retire. Every risk carries some degree of fear. And every great success comes by walking straight through that fear. Don't try to kill the fear. Learn to walk alongside it. Rule 8, find the right people and trust them. Build your team. Clint Eastwood is not a legend who built everything alone. He's a leader who knew how to work with the right people. For years, he worked with the same team, the same cinematographer, the same producers, the same people he trusted. Why? Because building trust takes time. And investing that time is far more efficient than constantly starting over with someone new. But Clint didn't just trust. He also gave people room to grow. He supported young directors. He listened to new voices. He stayed far away from the "I know everything" attitude. Real leaders don't make the people around them feel small. Real leaders help the people around them become bigger. Clint Eastwood said it in an interview. On set, I listen to everyone because the best idea can come from the most unexpected place. Choose your team carefully, trust them, and give them the room to grow. Rule 9. Respect your time like it's your most valuable asset. Respect your time. Clint Eastwood always shows up to set ready, lines memorized, plan in place. He doesn't like to wait, and he doesn't make others wait either. In Hollywood, this has become the stuff of legend. Clint doesn't drag out a set. And where does that discipline come from? From learning early that time never comes back. Think about it. In 94 years, how many films did Clint make? How many characters did he bring to life? How many places did he go? How many things did he learn? This isn't just about talent. This is about how you use your time. Every morning you wake up, you have 24 hours. Those same 24 hours are given to Jeff Bezos. Those same 24 hours are given to someone building something from absolute zero. The difference is the value placed on those hours. Pay attention to who and what you spend your time on, because once those hours are gone, they are never coming back. Rule 10, be the director of your own life. Direct your own life. And here it is, the last rule, the most important one. Clint Eastwood is not just the director of films, he is the director of his own life. What does that mean? It means not living someone else's script. Not the script written by your family, by society, by social media, by trends, but the script you write for yourself. Even at the height of Hollywood's power over him, Clint made his own calls. Some of them worked, some of them didn't, but every single one of them belonged to him. And that sense of ownership, that is what separated him from everyone else. Where are you in your life right now? Are you writing your own script? Or are you delivering lines that someone else handed you? Clint Eastwood taught us this. Life is not shaped by what happens to you. It's shaped by how you respond to what happens to you. You're going to fall. You're going to get rejected. You're going to get tired. You're going to doubt yourself. But in those moments, go back to rule 1. Falling is yours. Getting back up is your choice. All right, everybody. The story of Clint Eastwood shows us this. Success doesn't come overnight. Success comes from working in silence, from facing your fears, from owning your decisions, from reinventing yourself, and most importantly, from never stopping. These 10 rules aren't just the rules of a Hollywood legend. These are universal truths that any person can apply to their own life, starting today. Now I want to leave you with one question. Out of these 10 rules, which one hit you the hardest? Which one made you think, I'm living this right now, or I want to start living this? Drop it in the comments. Because this journey is harder alone. But together, we are so much stronger. And if this video meant something to you, send it to someone who needs to hear it, because maybe that person is going through something right now, and these words are exactly what they need. See you in the next one. Never stop.